So I've had it pointed out to me that I didn't actually cover all the faults the car was going into the dealer for in last week's video. So I mentioned the centre console, which is working absolutely fine, and the 4G signal has been working 100% since starting up every single time, which is brilliant because now means I've got proper connected services, all the maps and navigation and everything works. So traffic aware navigation works fine, whereas before that was a potential problem. It wouldn't always work. The other thing, of course, which that brings me is tuning radio. So I've got the podcast, which is something I quite like to do occasionally. So yeah, all round I'm very happy. It's one of those Alpine things. I haven't seen one of those in the flesh. Nice looking car. That almost beat the I-Pace for the car of the year. It was very, very close between the I-Pace and the Alpine. The European Car of the Year award. But we won it, so that's all good. Anyway, so I have the centre console fixed. The suspension seems to be much better, but they said they didn't actually do a fix, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. But they basically said that they ran all the tests on it, checked the levels, checked the air pressures in the suspension, and everything was fine. Maybe this just the simple act of testing it has fixed it, because it definitely feels a lot better. It still wobbles side to side, but it settles a lot quicker, which is much more like all the other I-Paces I've driven. And maybe if I get a chance to go out in another I-Pace, I'll compare and contrast. The other thing which we Autumn said about was the charging, and that's where the interesting conversation came in with the mechanic, with the technician I should say. So every Jaguar dealer has an I-Pace specialist. Usually there's only one, and it's certainly the case at Marshalls, there's only one I-Pace specialist. And this isn't unusual. It's not a thing about the I-Pace. This is just generally about any car, any model car. You will normally find they have one specialist technician. Just making sure I don't get the poster back here. It is lovely having one 360-degree camera. Yeah, so they usually make sure they have one technician for each type of car. And that's not normally a problem. If you've got an XE specialist, then the XJ specialist is going to have a lot of shared knowledge. But with the I-Pace, of course, there are elements of the I-Pace which there's no other vehicle sharing them. That will change. Over time, there'll be more and more electric vehicles, and it won't be an issue. But at the moment, it is an issue because that poor I-Pace technician is rushed off his feet. Having said that, he did spend about 40 minutes with me chatting through the charging side of things, and we got talking about batteries, kind of a little bit of batteries from laptop technology and like. And I have to say, the way they manage the batteries technically looks really good. He had this massive book, basically about all the systems in the I-Pace, including loads and loads of pages about the battery technology. And one thing he was talking about was charging. And I alluded to this in last week's video, but I wanted to go over it a bit more detail today. So he talked about the scenarios in charging where the car would power on prior to the charge timer. So this is one of the faults I spoke about, the fact he wasn't doing time charging. Well, apparently he is doing time charging. He just does it in a very strange way. But if you think about what they're trying to achieve, or what they've set out to achieve, it makes sense. Now, whether you agree with what they've set out to achieve is another matter. So basically what they have set out to achieve is that anybody who drives an I-Pace, when they get in their car in the morning, will have 100% charge. They'll be able to make any journey they want to make within the range of the car. They've taken a simplicity approach, I think. Now, 100% is not 100%, as we all know. Hopefully we know by now. It's about 84%, 82% possibly usable. There's a little bit of debate about that, but certainly they top and tail. They don't go all the way up to 100%, real 100% state of charge. They don't go all the way down to zero state of charge. And that's good, because you don't ever want your battery going down to zero, and charging it to 100% all the time is not good for it. So yes, we've lost a bit of capacity. Yes, there's bits we can't use, but it's still an eminently sensible way to charge a battery compared to a lot of other people's approaches. I kind of get why they're doing this. I kind of get where they're coming from. It is simple. People don't have to think about charging as much. Early adopters and techies are pretty good at thinking about things like batteries. So Tesla owners don't really worry too much about the fact they have to think about how much they charge the car. Is it good to go up to 80%, etc., etc. But But they've tried to make, with the Jaguar, they've tried to make it as straightforward as possible. If this was a normal car, a normal EV, which allowed you to actually charge physically to 100%, I wouldn't be doing this, because rapid charging to 100% is not a good idea. But obviously we don't charge to rapid charge to 100%, we charge to about 90%, which is fine. And I need the range this week, so I'm going to give it as far as I can get in the hour I'm allowed to charge here. I've been here 50 minutes now, just about 48 minutes, and it says there's 8 minutes remaining to get to 100%, so that'd be quite good. I might actually make it in the time I'm allowed to be here, so we'll see. Although I was parked up a little bit before I started charging to record a few things, so I might have to move off earlier on that, but we'll see. I'm not even sure they're actually enforcing the parking restrictions. I can't see how they would. There seems to be any cameras pointing in this way, and I haven't seen anybody doing any inspections of number plates or anything, but better be safe than sorry. Well, that's very pleasant. In the time I've been here, it's got sunny. One thing I've noticed, you can probably see over my shoulder if I move over a little bit, the back window hasn't cleaned. I probably haven't been going fast enough to make it flow over there. It has beaded though, the water just beads on it, and you can see through it, so it's not a problem at all. But yeah, quite cool. I had loads of chats at the chargers the last few times I've stopped. Everybody seems to be coming over and wondering what this car is, wanted to talk about it, wanted to talk about charging, lots of misunderstandings on how things work, amazements at how cheap this thing is to charge, how many miles they get from it. In fact, it gets over 200 miles. I mean, they get over 100 miles. Yeah, over 200 miles, driving it like a Jag. So yeah, I'm really pleased. It's nice to be a talking point at times, although I suppose it actually just helps the charging time go by. I said earlier, I don't really notice the charging time because I'm sitting doing work, and it's like sitting in an armchair. It's very comfortable to do that. Make good use of my stops. Okay, I'm about to try an experiment. So I'm putting my keys down here. I'm going to get out of the car and see if I can lock the door and see what we see on the screen. Should better switch off, I guess. Well, I think the simple answer is it doesn't do anything. It doesn't show you anything on the screen to tell you that the keys in the car, but it just doesn't let you lock the door. So, top tip, if you leave your keys in the car, it's not going to lock. So something I just noticed, if you notice here at the back of the 360-degree camera, there's just gravel. But if I go back to reversing, we actually see part of the garage. So the landscape view is actually cutting some of the image off, which is a shame because there's plenty of room for it. Yeah, maybe they'll fix that in the second update. Okay, so we're starting with 193 miles on the Guessometer today. See how we get on with that. I think that's about 97% charge. Check back on. I'm intending to stop for lunch, so I'll make a decision there whether I charge at that point. It might be a good idea because I'll be stopped anyway. Give it a top up, and then when I get to Heathrow, I'll be probably about 60%. Got another stop to do on the white route as well, but I can't charge there. Be interesting to see how it all works out. I'll try and keep track of the figures as we go. So I'm going to reset all the Trip A summaries for now, so we get it for the whole journey. That's pressing down and holding the little button on the end of the indicator stalk. One thing I have noticed is you only seem to be able to do that reset when you're actually powered up, when you're in ready mode. If it's just on accessory mode, it doesn't seem to reset the trip, which is a bit weird. So one thing I have done is to send the route from the Jaguar route planning app to the car, so it should be in here. And we've got recent, and that's the one I want. So it should give us 115 miles, it's reckoning. Yeah, that sounds not unreasonable. Show on the road. Well, it's a lovely sunny day. Wasn't expecting that. That will hopefully help with the range a bit. Currently on 192 miles range. We're going to go left at this junction. It's on the move. really difficult to tell what charges are and what points on these. That's AC and that's DC. So it's actually CHAdeMO. So this one is feasible, might have CCS on it. So I'm going to pull in here and charge. Hopefully that's going to be reachable. I'm going to take it up 2 spaces, but this guy is parked partly over the button, the leeway. That was a pretty decent stop, so we're okay. We've got 70 miles left to go in total and 178 miles range, so that gives me plenty enough to get back. So I'm happy about that. I don't think I'll need to worry too much on range on the way back. So that's the first part of the journey done. Pretty smooth and easy. We've now got 149 149 miles left. Sorry, I'm not sure how much percent that is. Let's see if we can see that on here. Where are we? My EV, 76%. So it says we've done 71.8 miles in total. For I think we started off at 97. Did we? 96, I can't remember, but we'll check that out later. But anyway, so we've done 39.2 kilowatt hours per 100 miles, so pretty good. Quite happy with that. That means easily going to get to my next part of the destination and probably have enough charge to get all the way home without charging. And I only charged for a little while en route, and it was a stop I was going to make anyway. Anyway, I'm going to head in now. We'll start the second part of the journey. That's going to be a few hours time. It might be dark by the time we leave here, but I'll see you then.
This is really odd. I've just got back in the car and it's showing 35 miles range on about a 60% charge. Yeah, something strangely going on there. I did pre-condition it. I actually put the climate controller on so it was going to be warm when I got back in, and it's been running for about an hour on that, so I'm wondering if it's just got very confused. Anyway, we'll see. Fun and relaxing at the same time. This has got so much poking, get into any gap, but it's also driving in silence. Yeah, really nice drive. So a couple of minor issues, actually one major issue which we know about, the guessometer range meter issue. That's not really acceptable. I'm guessing what happened was that when I set it to have a departure time when it wasn't plugged in, it set there eating battery to run the climate control, and it wasn't moving, so it saw that as very high consumption. Something needs to be done there because they shouldn't be doing that. I mean, certainly wasn't down to 31 miles of range when I left. It's stuck on 31 miles all the way here. The other thing which was a little bit annoying, there was a knocking sound coming from over here somewhere. It turned out to be the seatbelt, the passenger seatbelt. I'm not quite sure if it was just in a different position to normal, or maybe it was just the angle of the road, the camber of the road and the bumps, but it was definitely knocking. So I've sorted that. So I'm going to leave it there for this episode. If you've liked this episode, please click the like button. Subscribe if you want to. Leave a comment. I love comments. It really I had some really good chat in the last couple of episodes. And I'll certainly try to respond to any ones which are left, although obviously being away I may be a bit slow to do that. Anyway, I'll see you in about a week and a bit's time, and we'll see what state of charge this car's at.